ready to go, and Ryan Grimmett digs in to get the national championship game started. Grimmett at 310, 3 homers, 34 runs batted in. And Kevin Shipp's first pitch. Here's a breaking ball high for ball 1. And a ball low. 2 balls and no strikes. Shipp's fastball 86 to 90 miles an hour, according to Kevin. He's a quick worker, as you can tell. That looked like a pretty good pitch. Fastball called ball 3.
Sean, 2 things to note early in this game. Number 1, a lot of tension in this championship game. This game is going to be played on emotion. The first 3 innings will be like a prize fight, each team feeling each other out. The pitchers getting settled on the mound. And right off the bat, Kevin Shipp walks Grimmett, the first hitter for Miami. LSU can't afford to get behind early. J.D. Arteaga, the pitcher for Miami, has been known to step right in there and throw strikes. He's 12-1.
Grimmett at first base after the 4-pitch walk. I think Shipp is still wondering what was wrong with the last 2 pitches he threw to Grimmett. Breaking ball outside. That's 5 balls in a row as Rudy Gomez looked at ball 1.
Usually the strike zone starts out small and will expand depending on how good the pitcher throws within the strike zone.
Shipp, as you saw during the numbers that were posted on your screen, ordinarily around the strike zone, has good control. You mentioned he says his fastball 86 to 90 generally. He has an overhand curveball, which he says he'll throw at any time in the count for strikes. And he throws a circle change only about 15 times a game. The hit and run is on. It's chopped down to first. Curtis to Shipp for the out. And on the play, Grimmett moves to second base.
And that's the Miami philosophy. Jim Morris likes to be aggressive, and why not? His team 3-0 in this College World Series. He's put the pressure on the opposition each game, and even when they don't hit for power, they get them going just like this. Grimmett's off, and Gomez tries to hit to the right side. A good play there, but they advance the runner.
Grimmett at second and 1 out. No score, just underway. In the top of the first. And Burrell bounces one through the left side, a base hit in the left. Grimmett slowed to see if the third baseman Dunn could handle it. He advances to third. And Pat Burrell, the nation's leading hitter, on his way to becoming the first freshman to lead the nation in hitting, has a hit on his first swing in this game.
Nathan Dunn, who has had trouble defensively, just doesn't get a good break on this ball. Seemed to be a little tentative, little slow getting to that big hopper. Now watch him. See, he breaks a little bit to his right. Now can't get to the ball. Runners on first and third for Miami. 1 out.
And the batter is the right fielder, Eddie Rivero. He was up there hacking at the first pitch and bounced it into his dugout where all of his teammates are up on the top step. Rivero hitting .364 for the season with 8 homers and 53 runs batted in.
You can see the attitude of this Miami team. They're going up swinging from that first pitch.
They know that Shipp is ordinarily around the plate, throws strikes, and gets ahead of hitters.
John, almost seems to be a killer instinct by Miami at this point.
Well, they definitely were a confident team as we spoke with them yesterday. They have more or less breezed through the first 3 games of this College World Series. They've outscored their opponents by a combined 36-9.
First classic confrontation in this game between pitcher and batter. Shipp falls behind 2-1. It's the wrong guy to get behind to.
And he misses high. Now it's 3-1 on Rivero. With that base hit, by the way, Burrell is now hitting .492. Not only is he leading the nation in hitting, but He's pulling away from the rest of the pack. Ethan Barlow of Vermont is second. He's at 455. Burrell is almost 40 points better now. 37 points ahead of any other hitter in the country this year as a freshman.
The Ship came back with a good breaking ball down that time. He's had 2 problems so far this inning. A breaking ball that's up and not in there for a strike. Now at 3-2, he's got to come in.
We'll see if Burrell with good speed runs from first. A step toward third and a look toward first. Burrell, as you saw, can steal a base, has 8, has been thrown out 3 times. Ship in a jam here in the first inning. First and third and 1 out, no score. 3-2 with the runner not going. Bounced down to first. Johnny Rodriguez, first base coach. And Jim Morris, the head coach, doubles as third base coach.
Morris not having Burrell go that time.
Nor is he going on this pitch, and it's ball 4 just inside. So 2 walks in the inning thrown by Kevin Ship. And that has to be cause for concern for Skip Bertman, the 13th year head coach at LSU, who watched Ship walk only 29 batters this year in 80 innings, but he's walked 2 here in the first, and the bases are loaded.
Skip Bertman, also the head coach for the Olympic team. This is exactly what he didn't want. A wild starting pitcher. Now with bases loaded, 1 out. Miami's the kind of team that can break it open with 1 swing.
Michael DeSalle hoping to take that swing. Took strike 1.
Ball travels much better to right field here, even though the wind's crossing from left to right.
Lanier set up below and away, and that's where Ship missed. 1 ball, 1 strike on DeSalle. He's a junior from Citrus Heights, California.
His first inning putting a lot of pressure on the LSU defense.
Foul at the plate. 1-2 on DeSalle. He's had a good College World Series. He's 5 for 11 in the 3 Miami victories. Has driven in 4 runs. The 1-2 pitch. Bounced in the hole. Base hit right field. Grivet has scored. Gomez is being waved around. The throw from Bowles. Misplayed by Lanier. Clear second. Out at second. Two-run score on the play. DeSalle with a base hit and 2 runs batted in. Thrown out trying to make it to second base.
Look at this curveball in a good location, but he just hits it through the right side, and this will score 2 runs to put Miami ahead 2-0. Now we see a 1-hopper at home that can't be fielded, but Lanier picks it up and guns it to second for the out.
He's out 9-2-6. A bunt foul by T.R. Marcinzik down to Coach Morris.
Take a look at this throw. Gets there in time. Oh, he seems to have the foot in, and the second baseman tags him high. Isn't that typical, though? If the ball beats the runner, invariably the umpire calls him out. I thought he was safe.
Great start for Miami. 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks. Good downward movement on that pitch from Ship, and Marcinzik swung over the top of it. The only base runner now, Eddie Rivero at third with 2 down. Marcinzik, the leading RBI man on the Miami team this year with 69. Good fastball for strike 3. First strikeout for Ship, but he had a rocky first inning as Miami scored twice after a half inning in Omaha. 2-0 Canes. This JD started just about every big game in Morris's 3 years as the Canes coach.
Arteaga, very crafty left-hander, sinker, slider, fastball, box change.
And with that 12-1 record, riding a 12-game win streak. He lost his first start of the year against Florida, hasn't suffered a defeat since. And pitching to Jason Williams. LSU bats trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the first. And like Ship, Arteaga has started out throwing balls.
Arteaga's philosophy today will try to work on the frustration of LSU, which hasn't hit up to its potential. Probably the worst guy that LSU could face, because he'll throw the ball slower and slower if he starts to keep it in the strike zone.
The 2-1 hit on a hop to short. That's the wrong spot. To Marcinzik for the out. Cora, the younger brother of Joey Cora, now with the Seattle Mariners. And Alex, as Jim Morris says, is a highlight film at shortstop.
Cora takes a one hopper. Look at the footwork. Good balance. We'll flip over to first. One away.
Base is empty. 2-0 Miami in the bottom of the first. Mike Turner, the center fielder, takes a ball up and in. Mike's hitting .312 for the year. As a team, LSU's batting .317, but they've only hit .270 here at the College World Series. You look at the stats and you wonder how they could possibly be 3-0. 10 errors in 3 games. They're hitting almost 50 points below their season batting average as a team. But they beat Wichita State 9-8, and a pair of wins over Florida 9-4 and 2-1 to eliminate the Gators on Thursday. The first time LSU had ever won a College World Series game when they scored fewer than 5 runs.
Turner that time pulling his head out on the lefty Arteaga, who threw a nice slider. Catcher sets up outside.
A little looper, and Cora can't get it. It's just out of his reach. Grimmett plays it quickly, but Kerner, one of the few real stolen base threats on this LSU team, has a blue pit.
Kerner looks so bad on the pitch before. Now this time, see, he keeps his shoulder in, just flicks the bat, throws it into left center, and is on at first.
And he's 23 of 25 in stolen bases. LSU doesn't run much because they have such a power hitting team. Skip Bertman doesn't want to take the bat out of his power hitter's hands. Nathan Dunn, the hitter, and one of those power hitters we were speaking of with 21 homers, 21 round trippers, good for 3rd in the SEC this year. And he has 2 teammates ahead of him. Eddie Furness with 26, Justin Bowles 22. The 0-1 hit in the air to right, not deep. Breeze blowing the ball toward the right field line as it comes in from left across the field toward the first baseline. 2 down now after the catch by Rivero. Kerner still at first. 2-0 Miami in the first.
Sean, one of the keys to LSU's success is they have to pick up Arteaga's ball before it has a chance to sink or break. And if you're a left-handed hitter, you've got to move closer to Arteaga and closer to the plate. The farther you stand back in the batter's box, the bigger the break, the less sweet spot you have.
Throw to first. Kerner's back. Skip Bertman says if Kerner runs, he has to make it. That's his attitude about stolen bases. He's not a big fan of the stolen base. He's a big ball manager this year, he says. He plays for the big inning, much like Earl Weaver did. Hasn't always played it that way, but with the makeup of his team this year, he adopted that philosophy. He said his team started out 13-0 and hit an unbelievable number of home runs, and that's when he knew they wouldn't steal much. They'd wait for the big one.
Well, Skip's so astute at the abilities of his team. Some years he's got to hit and run and bunt. Other years like this one, he's got to use his power to keep the base runners in place. He will spot steal them, but only in certain situations.
Furness, the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year with his .372 average. 26 homers, a school record. Breaking a record of 25 held by Gary Heimel in '91. Of course, they had a pretty good power hitter known as Joey Bell when he played at LSU. Now Albert Bell in the major leagues with Cleveland. Broke his home run numbers as well. With Furness, who takes strike 2.
Furness now has to cover the plate behind 0-2 with 2 outs in this inning. Going to hit the ball where it's pitched.
Arteaga missed outside with the breaking ball.
Ooh, that looked tantalizing, didn't it?
It did indeed. Biggest reason he was selected as the starter, in addition to his big game experience, is the fact that LSU has 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup.
At 12-1 didn't have any influence either, did it?
It's also comforting for the coach to look down at the statistics and see that record.
Well, not only is he good, a little lucky too.
You need a little bit of that more often than not if you're going to win the national championship. He couldn't lay off that same pitch that time. First strikeout for Arteaga ends the inning. After 1 in Omaha, Miami 2 and LSU nothing. Honor of the 50th anniversary of the College World Series. First pitch of the second, a strike thrown by Kevin Shipp to Alex Cora. At 297, he's the only Miami starter below 300. And he smashed down the first, caught by Furness.
Wow, what a bullet that time. He took a tight little slider and just hit a slap shot to Furness.
Alex has hit very well lately. You know you have a pretty good hitting team when you only have one guy under 300 and he's hitting 297.
On the edge.
Miami has shattered its school record for team batting average this year. They're hitting 342 as a team. First ball swinging, Rick Sagisi with a pop-up and foul ground on third, out of play. Sagisi is the DH, a redshirt freshman, hitting 337 with excellent power, 14 homers, and 51 runs batted in. 2 of those home runs here at the College World Series. Off-speed pitch, line to left, a hit. Chad Cooley over to cut it off. And Sagisi has a base hit.
Shipp still throwing the ball up, that time hanging what seemed to be a changeup. And Sagisi just taking it and hitting it where it's pitched. Let's take a look at this. It's just a changeup up. That's exactly where he doesn't want it. And he gets hurt.
Three hits now for Miami, all of them singles. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks in the first. And now Sagisi's at first. With 1 out in the second for the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Jim Gargiulo, batting .330.
Gargiulo with a little bit of pop, 8 home runs this year. Good RBI man in that 9th spot. And don't be surprised if Miami puts on a hit and run.
Gargiulo turned a bunt and took a ball. I guess it also says a lot about your team when your number 9 hitter is hitting .330 with 57 runs batted in 62 games.
Certain comfort the head coach has.
Miami is at .342 as a team. They average 9 runs a game. They've had 91 homers in 63 games this year. And they've stolen 109 bases in 63 games. Other than that, they're not much of an offensive threat.
What balance, though, between power and the ability to hit line drives and to move the runners.
2-0, a borderline strike. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Two and one, a good count for Jim Morris here to make something happen.
I think Jim Morris is happy to see that flag we just saw. Both coaches talked yesterday about the major difference in this park between when the wind is blowing in and when it's blowing out. Skip Bertman has a more powerful lineup in terms of home run power, and they've been frustrated this week about balls being knocked down at the wall by the wind blowing in.
They had a first game that was just great. Lanier, a couple of home runs, and after that, the power shortage.
Now Shipp behind 3-1. There's a foul ball off the end of the bat. 3-2 with 1 out. And we'll see if Sagisi is on the move. He does not have a stolen base this year. Not much of a base runner.
Well, I guess he's due.
Jim Morris played it conservatively last inning with first and third, 1 out and a 3-2 count. A better base runner at first. Burrell, he did not have him going. This time Sagisi does run, and it's a pop-up, and Warren Morris has it. 2 down, the runner back to first. Sagisi aboard in the second. Miami leads 2-0. Kevin Shipp's in his first year at LSU. He's a junior college transfer from Meridian Community College in Mississippi. And he's facing the top of the order. Ryan Grimmett up for the second time in as many innings. He drops down a bunt. Dunn let it bounce foul. We mentioned a moment ago every hitter in the lineup over 300 except Alex Cora, and he's been creeping up toward 300 now at 297 with an offensive surge in the postseason. The team averaged 342, setting the mark of 311 set by the Miami team of 1969.
Cora 297, but key hits throughout the first 3 games.
Grimmett lines it to center. Mike Kerner had trouble judging that ball as it was knocked down by the wind, and his lunging catch ends the inning. After an inning and a half of the College World Series, Miami leads 2-0.
But it was a great experience. And I'll never forget, as a freshman baseball player, my first game, we played Eastern Michigan. The opposing pitcher walked the first 3 guys, and I stepped up, hit the first pitch, sliced it into the red cedar for a grand slam. And what do you do after that? It's downhill from that, right?
Just take a bow and hope for other good things to come.
It was fun, though.
Chad Cooley begins the second for LSU against JT Arteaga. LSU bats facing a 2-0 deficit. Arteaga surrendered 1 hit in the first. That's well hit to right center, but the center fielder Grimmett playing in that direction makes the running catch in the alley for the first out.
Grimmett did a good job that time of playing the hitter where the pitcher was going to throw it. A lot of times you can see how a pitcher is going to throw just by how the outfield shifts one way or the other. Just take a look at the center fielder. If you're the hitter, he'll give you an indication of where they're going to throw you.
Brad Wilson is the hitter. Here's the DH. He takes a ball low.
Here's a man who needs to hit for the Tigers, batting .083 in this World Series.
One of 4 regulars really struggling with the bat in this LSU lineup at the College World Series. Wilson's 1 for 12. Jason Williams also 1 for 12 with his 0 for 1 today. Eddie Furness is 2 for 12. Nathan Dunn is 3 for 15. Combined 5 for 27, no extra base hits.
And they're still 3-0, which means they know how to win even if they don't have a good offense.
Those combined stats for Dunn and Furness, the 3 and 4 hitters. 5 for 27 without an extra base hit. Arteaga now at 2-2 with Brad Wilson, and Justin Bowles is on deck.
He'll throw that slider again outside.
And Wilson went with it, lined it into the stands at the left. They expect about 22,000 today here at Rosenblatt Stadium. And if that's what they were expecting a full house, because if you can find an empty seat, give us a call and tell us where you saw it. We can't find one from here.
That was a setup pitch by Arteaga. Fastball away, usually comes back with a slider. Now at 3-2, he tried a sinker that time, but he's not afraid to throw that slider behind in the count or 3-2, especially to a left-handed hitter.
Arteaga, 21-year-old junior, right down the middle. Wilson frozen by the off-speed pitch for strike 3. Second strikeout for J.D. Arteaga.
That's what we just talked about. He'll throw that slider at 3-2, and it just freezes him. Why he didn't swing at that pitch that was very good to hit, we don't know. Let's take a look now. Watch this slider come up and break right over the heart of the plate, thigh high. Frozen.
As you said, tough pitch to take, especially 3-2. Ball one high to Justin Bowles, up with 2 outs and the bases empty. Bowles batting .304. He was second behind his teammate Furness in homers in the SEC this year with 22.
LSU very tentative at the plate. You can see that by some of the swings of the left-handers. And that time with Wilson just taking a pitch at 3-2, not being aggressive.
Bowles, the leading hitter for Skip Bertman at the College World Series, batting .444. Justin's 4 for 9 here. He has scored 5 runs, far and away the team high. He's hit a home run. Justin's a senior from Lake Jackson, Texas. This is a veteran LSU team. We have 8 seniors and 10 juniors among the 25 players dressed here in Omaha. A ball high, 3-1.
Arteaga impresses me with how smooth he delivers the ball to home plate. He's got nice rhythm, nice pace to him. Focused, knows what he wants to throw, so he shakes off the catcher. He's calling his game.
Foul ball into the LSU dugout. On both sides, the pitches called from the dugout, but both pitchers have the leeway to change the pitch if they so desire. That's in the air and right, and not very deep. Eddie Rivero comes in to make the catch, and the Tigers go in order in the second. After 2 in the national championship game, Miami leads 2-0.
Shows how popular this College World Series, not only this championship game, but the whole series is to people.
It has grown, it seems, in popularity every year. Base hit on the first pitch of the third. Rudy Gomez lines a single in the center off Kevin Shipp, and Gomez is now 1 for 2. He was out on the chopper down to first in the first.
Shipp, who settled down in the second inning, comes back and just throws a ball. A little change right over the heart of the plate. Now Gomez, along with the rest of his teammates, they're going up to that plate swinging. Look at that line, a little hooking shot to left center. These are aggressive hitters. And here's the monster man now, Burrell. Jim Morris said that he's never seen a young man hit the ball so hard time and time again.
It was 1 for 1 today, now at .492.
One miss by Shipp, and could put LSU in a serious jeopardy position, being 4 runs down.
Burrell, first ball swinging, as he did in the first when he singled to left, wound up scoring one of the 2 Miami runs. 1 strike on Pat. He's from Boulder Creek, California. Miami won a recruiting battle with Cal State Fullerton, the defending national champions, for Burrell. Jim Morris was very honest yesterday. He said, I never even saw him play. Turtle Thomas recruited him out an all-star game. And he's been much, much better than anyone could have expected, obviously, when you're a freshman leading the nation in hitting, the first freshman in the history of college baseball to do that. You're doing it by almost 40 points. No one could have expected that.
Sean, I've watched Burrell. When he makes a mistake, he tries to pull out too much. That front shoulder opens up, the foot opens up. But you know what? He makes the adjustment. He doesn't make the same mistake twice.
He's batting .492 to lead the nation. He has 23 home runs, 63 runs batted in. He's also walked 61 times. He's an honors student, 6'4", 220 pounds, as Jim Morris said yesterday. Good-looking young man. Jim said life isn't really fair. Seems like so much has been bestowed upon Pat Burrell. Some of the folks in the Miami administration, Rob Wilson, their outstanding baseball sports information director, referred to Burrell as Superman. When he came back from his grandfather's funeral last night, he said, well, Superman is back in town.
Says a lot about the character of this young man.
The runner goes on a 2-2 at strike 3. The throw not in time. Gomez has the stolen base, his 28th of the year. He's now the team leader by 1.
Even with Burrell at the plate, Jim Morris sends his team being aggressive again. Lanier with a good arm. One hops it too late.
Strikeout for Shipp is his second of the ball game. One out, a runner at second. 2-0 Miami as the Canes bat in the top of the third. Eddie Rivero looked at ball one. Eddie walked to load the bases in the first. Was stranded at third. Just joining us, Miami scored twice in the first. Ryan Grimmett led off the game with a walk, moved to second on a ground out. Pat Burrell singled to left, sending Grimmett to third. Then Rivero walked to load the bases, and Michael DeSalle singled to right, knocking in both runs. That's to right and dropping fast, charging hard. Bowles makes the running catch. Gomez was not back to tag on the shallow fly. He was a couple of steps off the bag, and he's still at second with 2 down. Miami, with this appearance in the College World Series, has been here 15 times. Only Texas, Oklahoma State, Southern Cal, and Arizona State have been to the College World Series more often. For LSU, this is appearance number 8. Ground ball, great diving stop by Morris. Now the throw to the plate with Gomez trying to score. He is out. Morris saved a run with a great diving stop, and his alert reaction to get back on his feet and throw to home as Gomez tried to score from second on that play.
What a great stop by Morris. The good luck player for LSU and a strike to home. What a play.
And that could be the spark LSU needs. They're down 2-0.
Lights a spark on this Tiger team.
First pitch of the third, low from JT Arteaga. Tim Lanier batting .256. He's been much better than that here at the College World Series. .333 in his career in 3 appearances here in Omaha. He was on the '93 team that won the national title. Here again in '94. Tigers didn't make it here last year. And they're back at '96. 2-1 the count on the team captain Lanier, the senior catcher from Baton Rouge.
He needs to have a big game like he did in the first one of this College World Series.
Strike upon the appeal down to Randy Crystal, the first base umpire. 2-2 on Lanier.
You have to look whether the bat crosses the head of the plate or the wrist break, and it did. Good call by the umpire. Couldn't hold up.
Juan Diego Arteaga, JD, has allowed only 1 bloop hit through 2 innings. He's retired 5 in a row. That off-speed pitch missed low, and it's a full count on Lanier with Morris on deck, and then the top of the order, Jason Williams.
The excellent defense of Miami. See short and second how deep they play. They charge every ball.
That's ball 4 outside. First walk issued by Arteaga. And the Bayou Bombers, as they've become known with their home run hitting prowess, have the lead man on for the first time this afternoon. Warren Morris, that defensive play just made an example of why the Tigers are 21-0 this year when he is in the starting lineup. He takes a strike. The reason he hasn't been in for every game, a fractured hamate bone on his right hand that required surgery on April 24th. And he was out for a month. A little lob and shallow left over the head of Cora. And because of the hand injury, that has more or less been Warren Morris's approach at the plate since returning from the hand surgery, just trying to guide the ball in the left field. Very difficult for him to turn it over and pull it into right.
Sean, I had a hamate injury in '71, and the hand was weak for about 8 months. Now what he does is he just tries to make contact and hit the ball where it's pitched, and does a very good job at it. Runners on first and second, and nobody out for the Tigers of LSU.
We trail 2-0. Now the top of the order, and Jason Williams. He bounced to short, leading off the LSU first. Now 1 for 12 in this College World Series. He turns the bunt and pushed it foul. Even though Williams has struggled, Skip Bertman said yesterday, I need a hit in the 9th. Jason Williams is the man I'd want up there. He's the all-time leader in hits at LSU with 326.
Now Williams tried to bunt to first base that time because Arteaga's a left-hander, falls off towards third. Good location to bunt. We'll see if Skip Bertman has him bunting again.
He does not, and it's chopped foul, and now Williams is in the hole. 0-2.
And you wonder why he had him swinging that time on the second pitch. Sometimes they give him one chance to bunt, which naturally draws the infield in more and gives him a good chance if he does hit the ball hard to get it by the corners.
And as you might expect with Bertman's big ball philosophy this year, playing for the big inning, looking for the long ball, they don't bunt very much. Only 19 sacrifices as a team the whole year. The 0-2. Chop foul. 2-0 Miami, but the Tigers are threatening. First and second and nobody out. Tim Lanier started the inning with a walk. He's at second after the looping single left by Warren Morris, who stands at first.
Trying to waste a pitch.
And he did, low and inside.
He may even waste another one in there and all of a sudden try that backdoor slider. We'll see that in this sequence. Inside, inside, then all of a sudden something you give up on the outside and it just breaks over the plate. Let's see if that happens.
He'll turn and look to second, trying to keep Lanier close.
Be very careful as a pitcher not to stumble when you do that. You don't see a balk very often, but if he stumbles, it's an automatic balk call. Let's see where the catcher sets up now. Location inside.
And pulled sharply foul behind Mike Bianco in the third base coach's box.
Arteaga with good control, throwing it just far enough in so that the hitter can't keep it fair. Tries to get the hitter to look in, and then he'll throw it away. Let's see. Looks like some type of a change or breaking ball.
Off-speed pitch low and away, and Williams is battling back from 0-2 to 2-2 with Arteaga.
Fastball, fastball change. Now look for some type of slider or curve.
Bounce foul. Jason Williams doesn't like Mike Bianco, the third base coach, as he's had a couple well hit balls in the direction of the third base coach.
Bianco's got to have a lot of confidence in his agility and quickness. He's much closer to the plate. He's out of the batter's box, so he's got to keep one eye on Williams.
This is the 8th pitch of this at bat to Williams, and he's battled from 0-2 to 3-2.
There's that backdoor slider that time. He gave it a try, just missed on the outside corner. I don't see the Tiger runners going now. They're going to let Williams hit away. He's got to look straight away, stay on the pitch now. Big opportunity for LSU.
They trail 2-0 in the third. And again, the step off by Arteaga. .47 pitches for JD. This is a very well-rested pitching staff for Miami. There's ball 4. He lost him after getting ahead of him. 0-2. 2 walks in the inning. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Skip Bertman plays for the big inning. This could be it, as his big bats are coming up now. The number 2 hitter, Mike Kerner, to hit next, and then Nathan Dunn.
You can see the anxiety on both of these head coaches. Arteaga, a little bit of a control problem now. Now the pressure goes on him to get the ball over the plate.
To Mike Kerner, who lobbed a single into center in the first. The only hit LSU had prior to this inning. And Arteaga started him with strike 1.
Second and short in a good double play combination position. Arteaga's been much more effective against the Tiger left-handers than the right-handers.
Strike 2, 0-2. Turner's a sophomore from Turnersville, New Jersey.
See, with an open stance, much tougher to hit that outside pitch.
That's a hanger ripped to the right, a base hit. Lanier has scored, and they hold Morris at third. And now they have 2 men standing on third base. Gargiulo, the catcher. And they apply the tag. Now a throw to second, and just safe at second is Kerner, who hit the ball in the right field. Mike Bianco threw up a late stop sign, but with nobody out, he didn't want to take a chance making an out at the plate. He made the right play. But Williams ran up the back of Warren Morris, and they both wound up at third base.
Kerner hits a tight slider over the plate. Now, I thought this was a good chance for 2 runs to score. Rivera with a good arm, but not a great arm. Held at third. Now LSU makes a base running mistake they can't afford to make. Gargiulo, good job. Nice accurate throw, forcing the runner to stop. He runs out of the baseline. That's why he's out. Cora with a presence to throw to second, too late. Shaking his head, saying we can't afford to make this kind of mistake.
Well, you can understand Mike Bianco's philosophy in the third base coach's box, even though, as you say, probably had a good chance to score that second run running on Rivero with nobody out. Ordinarily you don't take that chance, and it just wasn't very good base running by Williams running up the back of Morris.
This is the championship game. You must be aggressive, especially when you haven't scored a lot of runs.
Ball went outside, so you say send them in.
Send them in. Clearly Miami has been aggressive at the plate. That's why they're leading 2-1. LSU can't continue to expect Arteaga to have control problems.
Nathan Dunn, the batter. Go ahead run still in scoring position as Turner alertly moved to second. There's a long drive to center. Grimmett on the run, just in front of the warning track to make the catch. Both runners tag. Morris on to score the tying run. 2-2 the score on a sacrifice fly by Nathan Dunn. Kerner to third on the play.
Dunn's job was to get the ball in the air, to get the runner in with only 1 out. He did an excellent job that time. Got it all. The wind knocked it down. The wind blowing in from center now. Game tied, 2-2.
And the go-ahead run at third. Kerner at third with 2 down. For Eddie Furness, prolific RBI man who has not had one here at the College World Series. Furness with 102 runs batted in, which has tied him for the LSU and SEC record with Todd Walker, outstanding second baseman, who had 102 for the Tigers in 1993. But all he's needed here at the World Series is 1 RBI to set the school record and conference record, and he hasn't been able to come up with it. He struck out today in the first.
It's one of those chopped hits or a little blooper. And having trouble with the breaking pitch.
There's the RBI that gives him 103 for the season. The school and conference record, and more importantly to Eddie and the Tigers, the lead here in the national championship game as Kerner scored from third. It's 3-2 LSU.
Talked about LSU needing a breakout game. Skip Bertman said his bats have to come alive, and they have in this third inning. Intensity of Arteaga. Just a hanging change again. Bad location, and Furness hits a line shot.
So perhaps that defensive play by Morris is what sparked LSU. They certainly showed a great deal of emotion coming off the field after that play, and the offense has awakened at long last. 103 runs batted in now for Furness. The conference record and school record, obviously.
Sean, you're so right. At this college level, it's a game of emotion. You've seen how quickly it can change. The Tigers now with the lead. And it really was that inspirational play by Warren Morris.
Chad Cooley line to center in his first at bat. Up there with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. In the air and left, not deep, and it'll be knocked down by the wind. Michael Cassell has it. That ends the inning. Tigers get 3 to take the lead. It could have been a bigger inning were it not for the base running miscue. A 1-run lead for the Tigers. Mark Kotze, a member of last year's national champion team. Pete Incaviglia, the DH. 3-2 LSU. Miami trails for the first time in the postseason since their first game of the regionals against Sam Houston State, which was their only loss in postseason. They bounced back to win 7 straight coming into this one. T.R. Marcinzik, the leadoff batter for the Canes, and he's quickly in the hole 0-2. He struck out swinging against Kevin Shipp to end the first.
Let's see if Shipp is inspired by that 3-run rally that gives him the lead. He's calmed down after a tough first inning.
And the breaking ball missed, blown away.
Good curveball that time. Good 12-6 rotation. Very tough to hit. Seems to be much looser with his delivery.
Kevin told us yesterday didn't think he'd be nervous today. He's pitched twice in relief in this College World Series, both in tight ball games. He picked up saves in each of those appearances, and he has also pitched in the past in the Junior College World Series when he was at Meridian Community College in Mississippi. And he throws Marcinzik straight in the back with the breaking ball. And that's 3 strikeouts in the ball game for Shipp, 2 at the expense of Marcinzik.
Part of the pitching plan by Shipp is to get the curveball over, and this is a great one. He needs to keep Miami off balance. Oh, he gets Marcinzik just that little jerk there. He just really fooled him.
So important as a pitcher to hold off the opponents after your team has posted a big inning, as the Tigers just did, to support Shipp. Alex Cora hit a wicked line drive that was caught by the first baseman Furness. Now he chops one in that direction. And Johnny Rodriguez.
This game will be a game of emotion and a game of momentum shifts, and we've seen that already in the first 3 innings.
0-2, off speed at 79 miles per hour. 1-2 on Cora. As mentioned earlier, the younger brother of Joey. Says Joey wasn't that much of an influence as a youngster. He was always away playing baseball. There's a fair ball down the right field line. Cora on his way for at least 2 as the ball's retrieved by Bowles. It's a double, and the Canes have the tying run at second with 1 out. Alex Cora continues red hot, now 6 for 14 here at the College World Series.
Cora takes this curveball slider inside, and he's been nice and smooth. See how he gets the hands out and the head of the bat, just hooks it down the line. I thought he possibly could have gone for 3, but he really started to cruise in the second about halfway down there. Just assumed that he had a double.
He's at second with 1 out for Rick Sagisi, the DH. And the freshman takes a strike.
Now Shipp's pattern has been to start off the left-handers with breaking balls. If you're watching this game as a hitter, you've got to wisen up to that.
Little foul ball back to the screen. 0-2 on Sagisi. Alex Cora at second after the double, the 6th Miami hit. Mentioned that Joey was off and off playing baseball while Alex was a youngster. Alex says back in Puerto Rico, Louis Aparicio, one of the all-time great shortstops, was a tremendous influence in Alex's development as a player. Chopped down to first. Easy play for Furness. To third on the play. Cora 2 down. Sagisi now 1 for 2. Kevin Shipp, the junior, missed about a month this season with tendonitis in his right shoulder, problem that plagued him during his 2 seasons in junior college as well. Trying to preserve the 1-run lead. 3-2 LSU in the 4th. A runner at 3rd and 2 outs, and ball 1 delivered to Jim Gargiulo. Cora bluffing well down the line as Shipp missed low and away. 2-0. Gargiulo popped to second in the 2nd.
Cora trying to get a balk that time, trying to see if Shipp was watching him. Didn't work that time. Shipp focused on the hitter with 2 outs. Almost got a piece of him that time.
Now it's 3-0. And the leadoff hitter, Ryan Grimmett, is on deck.
That's a worn shoe right there.
A Shipp that is springing a leak. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Gargiulo. And that is the 3rd thrown by Shipp, the 1st since the 1st inning.
Well, that's a piece of leather that you keep putting over a shoe, and that's probably the 3rd or 4th time this year that they've put a piece of leather flapping over it. Obviously, he loves those shoes. They're broken in, and they've pretty good luck for him.
Tying run at 3rd, go ahead run at 1st for Miami. 2 outs in the 4th. Ryan Grimmett takes a strike. Ryan led off the ball game with a 4-pitch walk and scored the 1st run of the game. He lined to center in the 2nd.
Sean, I'm so impressed with these aluminum bats and how big the heads are. The hitting surface on these aluminum bats. No wonder the ball goes so far, and they hit the ball so consistently. The Louisville TPX there, favorite bat of Miami.
Fouled to the screen. 0-2. Ron Grimmett, a junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. Nice catch by Kathy Wiest, member of the ground crew who has dazzled the fans here in Omaha over these 10 days. Her ability to play balls flawlessly off the screen. Kathy's a senior at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, in Lake Minnetonka, Minnesota. And there she is, basking in the glow of her latest catch. A big smile.
Really sweet. Now Grimmett with an open stance. Shipp pitching him away. Oh, he just misses that time. See, when you have an open stance, it's tough to cover that outside part of the plate, and that's how they're working him. Let's see how close it is. It's a ball just off. And you're trying to frame it, as they say.
Now the 2-2 to Grimmett. Chopped over the mound. And Williams takes on the ball to force Gargiulo in the inning. The Canes strand 2. They've left 5 men on. After 3.5, 3-2 Tigers.
He did a great poster one time in a formal suit with penguins all around him. I thought that was the best one I had seen.
I assume Michelle had tongue firmly planted in cheek when she said the penguins were eating right out of the palm of her hand. I didn't see any of them going for the meal she was offering. J.D. Arteaga pitching to Brad Wilson, the DH. And the count is 2-0. Wilson, one of many in college baseball who arrived at a powerhouse program as a walk-on. Matter of fact, he was such an unknown. Skip Bertman refers to him as a stumble-on. So some of the walk-ons, you know who they are. You just don't have enough scholarships to give them a scholarship, but you hope they'll come. Said Wilson he knew very little about. Brad's uncle Mike started the baseball program at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh and called Skip Bertman and said, would you give my nephew a look? How about I bring him down to your LSU baseball camp? They liked what they saw of Wilson. He walked on for 3 years, paid his own way. The last 2 as a 5th-year senior. He's received some aid. Wilson strikes out, but it's not uncommon for many of these players to pay at least part of their own way. As a matter of fact, under Bertman, LSU has never had a player on a full baseball scholarship. That includes Ben McDonald, Albert Bell. Skip says we only get 11.7 scholarships, and when you have 43 players in your program, you have to spread them out.
Way back when USC was winning national championships time and time again, they had an unlimited number of scholarships to work with. You can attract the best talent that way. when you're guaranteed a full ride.
Strikeout of Wilson, the third for Arteaga. And he's throwing strikes to Justin Bowles as well. The count quickly 0-2. Bowles fly to right. Now, there's a dedicated fan. I could do that on my head. Don't have to worry about meaningless obstacles such as hair.
Arteaga, after a very tough last inning, the bottom of the third, when he let up 3 runs, he had walked 2 batters. This inning, much better control.
And he just missed. There is action in the Miami bullpen. Clint Weibel, who was the other possibility to start today's game, a right-hander, is warming up. And Morris went with Arteaga mostly because of all the left-handed hitters in the lineup, and we've seen the effect of that today as another left-handed hitter goes down swinging. Bowles 2 down on 2 strikeouts in the LSU fourth.
Speaking of effects, look at this. Arteaga very, very tough on left-handed hitters. They seem to be pulling out both their head and their shoulder. Another good curveball. See how the head goes out. Can't hit the ball unless you watch it and track it all the way.
3-2 LSU. Miami scored twice in the first. LSU got 3 in the third. Tim Lanier started that 3-run rally with a leadoff walk in the third. He scored the first of the 3-run. Tim's a senior, playing in his 3rd College World Series and in his final game at LSU. He was drafted earlier this week in the 10th round by the San Diego Padres. LSU had 8 players drafted earlier this week, and Miami had 13.
And amazing the quality of these 2 programs, how they develop them for the professional ranks. You know, Sean, we have the chance to see them at a period of innocence in their life. Once they sign, their world changes. Now they're paid to play. They're professionals. The attitude changes.
Lanier lines one in the left. Well, Lanier is one of those young men you wouldn't expect to change much. As Skip Bertman says, he's the heart of the team, a 2-year captain. And as Michelle reported earlier, he gave the speech to the team before the game today.
He's the leader. He's a gamer. Just like that situation with 2 out, he keeps battling and gets the hit, gets on base, starts a little bit of a rally.
As Tim Lanier said yesterday, talking about his Tigers, he said, we haven't played a total package baseball game yet here in Omaha this year. They might be working on that today. Had some timely hitting, some good defense. Lanier runs on the first pitch. It's a strike, and Tim is safe. Very close play. Looked like the ball was there in time. Perhaps Cora didn't get the tag on him. And that's a surprise. Lanier, the catcher, taking off and running for a coach who doesn't send the runners very often.
Gargiulo, with as good an arm in college baseball, guns it down there. And the runner just seems to beat it. The velocity on this throw, a little tailing right there. The knees in before the tag.
Just the 2nd stolen base of the year for Lanier, so he's in scoring position for Warren Morris, who took strike 1. Morris blooped a single to left and scored the 2nd run in the 3-run third. He's in the hole now, 0-2.
LSU with a history of winning the big games, even if they haven't played well going into this game. They have history on their side, and so far have battled back into the lead.
They've never lost in a championship game with a College World Series. 2-0. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Gargiulo has to throw to first. 2 Marcinsic for the out. Arteaga struck out the side in the inning, with the base hit by Lanier thrown in. 4 innings played at the College World Series. 3-2 LSU.
Shipped back into the heart of the Miami order with Gomez, Burrell, and Rivero. Like every time he looks up, these guys are up at the plate.
And Gomez has had a terrific year. Now at .416. With his 1 for 2 today, a single and a stolen base in the third. But as Jim Morris said yesterday, Rudy's performance this season has been overshadowed by all the attention given to Burrell. You can understand that attention with what Pat has done as a freshman. Morris said yesterday there isn't another second baseman in the country he'd rather have than Rudy Gomez. 85 runs this year, a school record, and bidding to score another as he's aboard starting the inning with a base hit to right. Gomez is 2 for 3.
I like the way this Gomez hits the ball. A nice flat swing and rockets it to right. Good job. He'd be a good low ball fastball hitter, wouldn't it?
He'd be good at just about anything. It's quite an athletic background.
Sean, one fact about recent college championship games: the starting pitcher that's gone the longest, invariably that team has won. So let's see if it holds true today. Ship has settled down. Arteaga, after a rough third inning, settled down in the fourth.
The 1-0 to Burrell, a borderline strike. Pat singled to left in the first inning and scored. Was called out on strikes in the third. And Gomez, who stole his 28th base of the year in the third, is at first. Well, you mentioned that about starting pitching, and ordinarily over the years that has held true, but both managers said yesterday, in this situation, one game to win it all, rested bullpen on each side, they might have a quicker hook for the starting pitcher just because they do have other rested arms ready to go, and you use everybody when you're trying to win a national championship in one game.
Usually the Pens are very tired, having to battle their way here, but you're right, lots of rest by both the Tiger and the Hurricane bullpens.
And if it gets into a bullpen battle, Miami has the deeper and it appears better bullpen. In all likelihood, Bertman would push Ship deeper into the ball game in a borderline situation than would Morris with Arteaga.
Ship can't throw him a fastball now. Got to try to get Burrell out with the big breaking ball. That good overhand curve's been very effective. Burrell really focuses, really locks in on the pitcher on the release point. Look at that. All great hitters have that same thing in common. Their ability to pick the ball up from the release point quicker gives them more time to determine speed, angle, and location. And they cover the plate well. Good hitting position, hands up. Catcher sets up outside, probably for the curveball or tailing fastball.
Kevin Ship has thrown 73 pitches, 43 of them strikes. Skip Bertman thought he could get 125 or 130 pitches. That would be about the maximum you'd want to extend Ship today. Bertman, a Miami graduate, played at the University of Miami in the late 50s and in 1960 and 1961 graduate of the University of Miami. Was an assistant there for 8 years under Ron Frazier before heading off to take over the LSU program and become the Tigers' all-time winningest coach. Because whenever he's not cheering for an LSU team in football or baseball or the other sports, he cheers for the Hurricanes, but not today. He is a Hall of Famer at the University of Miami, inducted 2 years ago. Burrell fouled one back. He had a good line yesterday talking about Burrell at the press conference. Skip Bertman heard Jim Morris talk about all those things we mentioned about Burrell earlier. Total base numbers, leading the nation in hitting, honor student, 6'4", 220, good-looking young man. So they asked Skip Bertman about Burrell. He said, well, I guess we'll just tell Ship to throw his best pitch and back up third. That's chopped back to Ship with the runner going. Kevin to first for the out. Fake throw to second base by Furness, but Gomez hadn't rounded the bag. So now the tying run is at second with one out in the fifth inning. LSU leads 3-2.
Jim Morris from Miami doing a good job of moving the runner that time. Ship threw a good breaking ball to Burrell. And with one out, a runner in scoring position for the Miami Hurricanes.
Eddie Rivero struggled late in the year, but as Coach Morris said yesterday, he's picked it back up at tournament time. 0 for 1 with a walk today. Now 5 for 14 here at the College World Series. And there's his sixth hit, a base hit and a right. They will hold another at third. Morris with the stop sign for Gomez as the ball was well played and right by Justin Bowles. So now the tying run is at third with one out. And the go-ahead run, Rivero is at first.
Let's take a look at Ship now and his delivery. A little straight change. Rivero hits a line drive to left. Now the reason Morris holds the runner at third is because Bowl picks it up on one hop and gets rid of it quickly with an accurate throw to home. Morris thinking, well, let's have runners on first and third. The Cells hit the ball pretty well.
8 hits now for Miami. They've had at least 1 hit in every inning. They have 2 hits in this inning. They've had 2 hits in 3 of the 5 innings. And the man who drove in both Miami runs in the first is at the plate. Michael DeSalle, who bounced a single into right to score 2. He came back up in the third and had an infield hit. It was his ball that was knocked down by Morris. Morris got up and threw Gomez out at the plate, trying to score from second on what might be the biggest play of the ball game.
DeSalle nice and quiet at the plate. I like to see this in a hitter. Slow feet, quick hands, they say, meaning a nice slow stride, good balance, and let those hands throw the head of the bat at the ball.
Michael's a candidate for most outstanding player honors here at the College World Series with his 2 for 2 today, 7 for 13 with 6 runs batted in.
I'll pitch him away this time.
And the pitch stayed out toward the middle of the plate. DeSalle chopped it foul. 1-2 on Michael. A transfer from Sacramento City College, a school that has sent many players to Miami over the years. Michael's in his first year at Miami.
Important matchup now for Ship. The left-handed DeSalle is hitting the ball well.
And the 1-2 is lifted to left center, and a long run for Mike Kerner. He is there to make the catch. Coming on to score the tying run, Gomez from third. It's 3-3. DeSalle has driven in all 3 runs today for Miami. And we begin again in a tie ball game.
DeSalle getting the ball out over the plate that he wanted, hitting it to left center. Wynn knocks it down. Does a good job of executing, getting the ball for a sacrifice fly. He's in his zone today. He's been the key player for Miami so far.
Rivero still at first, now with 2 down. And the batter is T.R. Marcinzik. He waits as Rivero drew a throw. He's stolen 7 bases this year. Marcinzik has struck out twice. Went down swinging in the first and looking in the fourth.
T.R. looking very uncomfortable at the plate today. Very close play that time on a quick move by Ship. Let's take a look. He will stagger step, throws over. He's back in there. The one hopper slowed the throw. He almost got him. See, one hopper does a good job of scooping it. Looked pretty close right there.
Indeed it did. Time requested by Marcinzik, granted by the home plate umpire Scott Graham.
Chip, knowing that Miami will run in this situation to get the runner in scoring position, has to keep him close.
Marcinzik takes a strike. How about his path to Miami? Marcinzik started his collegiate career at Florida State. Didn't work out there for him. He went to junior college at Florida Community College in Jacksonville. Now he's at Miami, and they went back to play at Dick Howser Stadium in Tallahassee this year. The Florida State fans were chanting "Traitor, traitor" at T.R. Marcinzik.
He's toured the state pretty well. Covered a lot of Florida in his collegiate days.
It's quite a rivalry in all sports, particularly in football, but also in baseball. And that is really going from one distinct side to the other. And they go from Florida State to Miami, as Marcinzik did. He's from Plainville, Connecticut, a senior. Edward Stanley Marcinzik III. I asked him, how do you get TR out of Edward Stanley? He said, well, it's from the third. TR comes from being Edward Stanley III. And he's hit the first for Marcinzik today. And first and second with 2 down. Now the go-ahead run is in scoring position. And Marcinzik's had a solid College World Series. This is his 5th hit in 4 games.
As they say, all you have to do is keep swinging. Something may happen, and he does. It's this big hopper It really takes off when it hits the dirt in the hole with overspin. Just gets by him. A big hop, couldn't get up for it.
And we'll have bullpen action in a moment for LSU, as Shipp has now given up 9 hits over 4 2/3 innings. Brett Laxton is going to start warming up.
Laxton, a big game pitcher for LSU. Pitched the championship game in 1993 against Wichita State. He's come back from injuries and pitched well in this College World Series.
Alex Cora slaps one to left. A late start by the left fielder. Cooley, and he hits the diving catch. Then lost it. It's a hit. No catch. It's a hit. 1 run is in. Here comes the second. He scores. And it's 5-3 Miami. Cooley arguing that he had it long enough to be a catch. Mike Bianco, who is ordinarily the third base coach, had gone running down to the bullpen to watch the pitchers warm up, and he came running out of the bullpen to argue. I think what he's gesturing is that the left field line umpire, Kevin Gilmore, first signaled out, and then if he signaled out, that meant he judged that this was a catch long enough. He didn't lose it till he hit the ground.
Watch the ball in the glove. So you got to take the ball out of the glove with your hand. What happens is the umpire stayed right with this. He caught it, and then it bounced out of his glove when he hit the ground. This is a good call by the umpire. Let's watch it again. He tracks it all the way. He misplayed the ball off the bat, recovered, made a good catch, but once he hit the ground, it came out. You've got to take the ball out of the mitt. Big play for Miami. This could be a pivotal play in this game. Watch the ball just come out. He's frustrated.
He got a late jump on it, and that's what made it such a tough play. With Cora, slap hitter, up there. He's never hit a home run with the wind blowing in from left. Cooley was playing shallow and seemed surprised that Cora hit it as deep as he did. It's a triple for Cora, 2 runs batted in, and the lead again for Miami at 5-3. Skip Bertman came out to argue the point, not all that animatedly.
Well, he went out there more for his team than he did for the play itself. He knows that you have to take the ball out of your mitt in a play like that when you dive for a ball. He wants to battle for his team, show his team that he's out there for them.
With Cora's 2 for 3 now, that means all 9 starters for Miami have a season average of better than 300. Rick Sagisi, the batter. We've got all kinds of plays in this College World Series national championship game. We're only in the top of the 5th. Sagisi has singled to left and bounced to first.
He hits the ball hard.
That's out of play to the left.
Shipp can't afford to make a mistake now with LSU only 2 down. A mistake now to Sagisi, who's got power, could open up the game. Shipp starting to throw a lot of pitches. You wonder whether the pressure and the pitches are catching up with him.
Sagisi sends it out of play to the left. He's a young man who's endured terrible tragedy in his life. His father helped coach his high school team in Naples, Florida, and one day was pitching batting practice to one of Rick's teammates when Mr. Sagisi was hit in the head by a line drive, never regained consciousness, died from an aneurysm the next day. Bounced down to first, tough play. And Sagisi's out at first. Well done, Furness to Shipp to end the inning. And quite an inning it was. Cooley almost made the great catch. Instead, it's a triple, and the LSU fans boo. 5-3 Miami. Tigers at the top of the order coming up. You'll probably notice a difference in the crowd noise. There are many more fans who have made the trip from Louisiana here to cheer for the Tigers than made the trip from South Florida to cheer for Miami. They have about a 10-1 advantage in fans, tickets distributed. Almost 1,000 folks from Louisiana here. Jason Williams, the batter, and he looks at a strike. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Sean, just after that inning, LSU coach Skip Bertman gathered his team around him. He hadn't done this all game, and he said, hey, that umpire's call is like any other element we're going to have to deal with. It's like an error, a bad call at the plate. We've got to live with it. We've got to get back on the field and continue to do the things that we're doing. Sean?
How often does the left field line umpire become involved in the action as Kevin Gilmore has? That's down the right field line, and that is a foul ball. So they're not getting calls on either line. That one was very close. And Bob Jones is the right field line umpire. These two guys probably went out there today thinking, oh, we got the line. That's usually not very tough. We'll work on our tan. We'll wave at the fans, enjoy the excitement of a College World Series game. Not so. They've had the toughest calls of any of these umpires.
Watch the ball now. Does it hit the grass? Looks foul to me.
Yep. And not by much.
Just barely. He's right there. Look at him in a good position. That's why they have 6 umpires for these championship games.
That's the man. No controversy there. Base hit. Jason Williams, just his second of this College World Series.
You know what can happen? You can start to say, hey, we're not getting the breaks. We're not going to win this game. Everything's against us. But Williams comes back and rifles it through the middle. Does a good job. Really aggressive at the plate. And he starts it off for the Tigers of LSU.
He's 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Here's Mike Kerner, 2 for 2, 2 singles, 1 to center, 1 to right. He knocked in a run with his single to right in the third.
We talked about the emotion of this game. It's going to be a roller coaster, the proverbial roller coaster for both teams. Both of them battling back and forth.
Action in the bullpen behind Arteaga. Saw Lázaro Gutierrez, a left-hander who helped the right field line umpire Bob Jones with that foul ball call. Clint Weibel still throwing back. Those two pitchers are throwing to each other. Gargiulo threw down to first. Williams back safely. 5-3 Miami. They just scored 3 times in the top of this inning, the 5th, to give Arteaga the lead again.
Take a look at that center fielder playing towards left center. That's where they're going to try to get him out. On the outside part of the plate. Big hole on the right side, though.
Close pitch. 2-1. We mentioned the tragedy endured by Sagisi. Arteaga has experienced much the same. When JD was in high school at Westminster Christian in Miami, he was a quarterback on the football team as a sophomore in high school, and his dad had a heart attack and died while watching JD play. By the time JD got to the hospital, his father had already passed away. His mom is here today, Carrie. JD told us yesterday. It'll be like she's out there pitching. That's how excited she gets about the game. She'll be pitching right along with me.
That's the way moms watch games. My mom used to be right there with me, fielding and throwing and hitting and running.
It's really tougher on the family and close friends than it is when, at least when you're playing, you're out there and you have some sort of ability to release the tension. But when you're in the stands, you love somebody as much as these families love these young men. Excruciating. Down to first. Chance for throw to first is late. They erase Williams at second. 3-6. And safe at first on the fielder's choice is Kerner with 1 out.
Let's take a look at this chop ball. Sends a good job. Now see, that's almost an illegal block going into second base.
Cora was complaining about that as Williams ran off the field.
And you have to go in sliding straight. He didn't go in that way and actually had his legs out as if he thought about blocking him and then tried to correct it.
Nathan Dunn, the number 3 hitter in the batting order.
Let's watch the runner now come in. You see he's standing up. He almost breaks an ankle. He starts to go to the left. That comes in and then tries to avoid Cora. Both men could have gotten hurt on that play. And the umpire could have easily called a double play in that situation.
Dunn chops 1 foul. One of the rules we showed at the top of the telecast, no roll blocks. And that very closely resembled a roll block.
It was a semi-roll block at a screen. see how high Cora got that time? What an athlete that young man is. The guy was literally just punched over a little bit and he still jumped over.
We just talked about the roadblock. We want to go back to the catch because right now that looms as the biggest play of the ball game. Cooley's attempted catch, the ball hit by Cora. It was ruled no catch. 2 runs score the play. The difference in the ball game. The 0-2 to Dunn. Outside, play to first, not in time. I'm going to read to you the definition of a catch right out of the college baseball rule book. Catch, the act of a fielder in getting secure possession in his hand or glove of a ball in flight and firmly holding it. In establishing the validity of the catch, the fielder shall hold the ball long enough to prove that he has complete control of the ball and that his release of the ball is voluntary and intentional. Now, obviously, Cooley did not intend to lose the ball there, so it was unintentional release. That alone verifies, Steve, what you were saying. The runner goes, the pitcher ball is a stolen base. Turner with the steal. His first of the ball game and his 24th to lead the team this season. He's 24 and 26.
LSU stealing off of Arteaga. That's the one problem he has because of his delivery to home. Another good play, good throw by Gargiulo, but just too late. LSU, as we mentioned, not a big stealing team, but they will be opportunistic.
Now a chance to drive in a run with a base hit. Kerner takes off in front of Arteaga, picked off. Kerner too early in leaving, and Arteaga did not panic. Had time to make the play, and Skip Bertman has watched a couple of bad base running plays by his team today that have really hurt.
I mentioned Arteaga, pretty easy to steal off of, but he went too soon that time. He thought he was going to fool him, but Arteaga always under control on the mound. Turns around to check him, now finds he's gone and throws a strike. An easy out.
And Dunn chops one foul. And if you're Skip Bertman, and your philosophy is you don't run unless you know you're going to make it. And that's because you don't want to take the bat out of the hands of one of your big hitters. He has one of his best hitters at the plate with a chance to tie it with one swing. Now Dunn can't do it. Skip has to think that was just really a dreadful base running play.
Well, that's what happens in championship games. The tension and the stress cause players sometimes to do things they wouldn't normally do. You have to stay within yourself, stay focused.
And now a base hit for Dunn. No way of knowing whether that would have been the same situation had Kerner not been picked off. The pitch selection could have been different, etc. But the LSU fans undoubtedly are thinking the base running play cost him at least 1 run now.
There's that box change that he hits through the middle. Good job of hitting the ball where it's pitched. You're right, Sean. The runner on second, that could have been a run in for LSU. Literally ran themselves out of that run.
Eddie Furness, a swing and a miss. He struck out in the first, single to center to drive in his 103rd run of the year and set the SEC and school record in the process. Just to finish about Cooley's catch and non-catch. The rule book continues. It is not a catch. The ball. The fielder collides with a player or fence or falls down, and as a result, drops the ball. And clearly that's what happened. Cooley dropped the ball as a result of hitting the ground. So it was the right call by the left field line umpire, Kevin Gilmore. Two outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 5-3 Miami. Arteaga, the starter, has given up 7 hits. He struck out 5 and walked 2. And 1 is a strike to Furness.
John, this is my pivotal man for the Tigers. Furness has to hit today in order for the Tigers to be successful and win this championship game. He's the power man. He's the cleanup man.
Pitch out on 1 and 2. And Dunn was not running.
We talk about great arms, and we say Gargiulo has a great arm. Still, if you have such a good jump off a pitcher, it neutralizes that great arm, and that's what's happened to Miami today so far.
And a miss for strike 3. Ernest strikes out for the second time. After 5-3 Miami in the NCAA baseball national championship game. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you to Ron. That was certainly an excellent analogy about having the NBA draft during the Final Four. That certainly wouldn't happen. Jim Gargiulo trying to bunt his way on, and Dunn couldn't play with a bare hand. Dunn, an excellent hitter, but not a great fielder. And Gargiulo, the catcher, has a bunt hit.
Smart play by Gargiulo. He's not very fast. This is a surprise play. And even though it got to Dunn quickly on this hard infield, he still couldn't field it cleanly. See, it bounced up and hit his wrist. Slower infield would have stayed down. He would have had a better chance. Now they'll try to get him over.
Gargiulo back to first. They scored that an error. Apparently they feel with Gargiulo, the catcher, running, that Dunn didn't need to make a bare hand play. That's the 21st error committed this year by Dunn, the 11th by LSU in 4 games of this College World Series. They've made the key mistakes today, particularly on the base paths.
As an old third baseman, anytime you have to field the ball with your bare hand, that's not a natural play. That's a tough call.
More often than not, that would be scored a hit. And he's in tight.
Well, Jim Morris will go for the 1 run, try to get the runner in scoring position.
Grimmett bunts toward first. And Furness lost the ball. Safe at first is Grimmett. And now the inability to hang on to the ball while in the field is proving costly to LSU.
Good job of bunting here. Furness does the right thing by fielding it and using 2 hands, and for some reason, with the ball in his non-glove hand, it's knocked out. How did that happen?
Wow.
That's what you do. You field it, put the ball in your bare hand so that you can have control and tag the runner. Even sometimes you kind of go after him, you end up tagging him with a glove and the hand comes out. Big mistake.
Back-to-back errors. Credit Grimmett with a sacrifice, no official time at bat, and then the error by the first baseman Furness allows him to reach. So here comes in all likelihood the 3rd straight bunt. Gomez was squaring as Shipp stepped off. Rudy 2 for 3 today. Gomez has singled to center and to right. He's stolen a base and has scored a run.
LSU has dodged a bullet in this series defensively. They've made 9 errors up until today and now 2 in 1 inning. It's going to catch up with you eventually.
Jim Morris through the signs for Gomez. And Skip Bertman also threw some signals for his battery and for his infield defense. Gomez punts foul, bounced up and hit him, but he was still in the batter's box. Not easy coaching baseball at Miami. The expectations are enormous. As Jim Morris said yesterday, even if we win this national championship, people will be right back at me next year expecting us to win it all again next year. He follows Ron Frazier, who is one of the legends of college baseball coaching and a great friend of Jim Morris. It was Frazier who recommended Morris from the job when Jim came down from Georgia Tech after a very successful run at Tech, 12 years, the last 9 in the NCAA tournament. Bunted toward third. Shipp will go to third. Self-destructing here in the top of the 6th. Shipp had to play at third if he fielded it cleanly, but the bobble cost him.
Miami putting pressure on the LSU defense, and the LSU defense cracking. Good bunt by Gomez. He goes in, fields it cleanly. He's going to go to third. He had time and just bobbles it and can't get the ball there in time. He's clearly safe. Nice backhand, gets himself into it, bobbles the ball, safe again.
So all they've tried to do is bunt. They've loaded the post, and a big swing and a long drive by Burrow. Deep left center, way back, and caught on the warning track. Mike Kerner the catch. 1 run scores. All the runners move up. Burrell went into a long right dance. I think he thought when he hit it, it was a grand slam. He was prancing down the first baseline. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Burrell. And a 6-3 Miami lead as Gargiulo scored from third.
Right man in the right spot. Burrell, the big hitter, gets all of this one, but a little high. Watch him. Steps into it. He's done this all year. He thinks it's gone, but he forgot about the wind blowing in from left center, and it knocks the ball down. Oh, my. I can't believe it. But he gets the run in. See the stiff flags there? That's what knocked it down.
And now Skip Bertman is at the mound to talk to Ship. He's had bullpen action. Patrick Coogan and Brett Laxton from the start of this inning. Ship's now given up 6 runs on 11 hits with the errors and his own misplay. And by the way, they scored Gomez's punt that was bobbled by Ship a hit, which is generous scoring for Gomez. All the miscues have been costly. It looks like Bertman's going to stay with Ship, with Rivero due up, a left-handed hitter. Both pitchers in the bullpen warming up are right-handed. 6-3 Miami, and they have 2 men in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. The runners are Grimmett with excellent speed at third, and Gomez with very good speed at second. The infield in. Outfield swung around toward right for Rivero, who pulls it sharply foul to the right.
Rivero, who hits the ball hard, is again going to put a lot of pressure on this Tiger defense. Ship's got to keep him off balance at the plate.
That's toward the gap in left center, and a long run for Kerner, who made the running catch. And another run scores for Miami. Grimmett in from third as the throw goes to third, and it's 7-3 Hurricanes. Rivero with his first RBI of the ball game. Back-to-back sacrifice flies to center for Miami.
This is a very good catch. He really has to track it all the way. The ball's tailing from him. Kerner gets the ball back in and holds the runner at second base.
And Skip Bertman is on his way back to the mound. He has 2 right-handers warming up down there. He is summoning one of them. Looks like Patrick Coogan. And has pitched a total of an inning and a third of relief. He's on here for Ship. Greeted by Michael DeSelle's ground ball to second. Morris to Curtis to the out. The 2 errors and the bobble by Ship hurt as Miami gets 2 more. And the Canes now lead 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Speculation he'll be signing for the major league team, perhaps Cleveland, any day now. Chad Cooley begins the 6th. J.D. Arteaga's first pitch. A ball to Cooley. Cooley's 0 for 2, 2 fly balls to left. Brad Wilson on deck, then Justin Bowles. Foul ball off first. 1 ball, 1 strike.
LSU, you need to have base runners now. They need to be patient and hit the ball where it's pitched.
It's on the corner. Excellent pitch.
Nice changeup that time by Arteaga.
Breeze still blowing across the field from left to right. Not quite as much in as it was earlier. Oh, fine play. Miami's won 2 national championships. Both were in the 80s in 82 and 85, while LSU has won its 2 national titles in this decade in 91 and 93. Both national championship games they defeated Wichita State. 6-3 in 1991 was the final. 8-0 in 93. Arteaga now at exactly 100 pitches, and there is action in the bullpen. Lázaro Gutierrez, a left-hander, and Alan Westfall, a right-hander, warming up. Ordinarily, Westfall is a setup man, 7th, 8th inning type of guy. Jim Morris said yesterday we could see him earlier than that in this 1 game for it all situation.
Brad Wilson having a lot of difficulty against Arteaga. Wilson, who is a good hitter, the DH for the Tigers, struck out twice so far this game. They'll try to pitch him away.
He got jammed and checked his swing and popped it up. And caught by Burrell in foul territory. Quickly 2 down. 7-3 Miami. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Arteaga riding a 12-game win streak. Longest by a Miami pitcher since Oscar Munoz won 14 in a row back in 1990. J.D. Arteaga 32-5 in his career. Entering this game and leading by 4 runs in the 6th inning of the national championship game today.
Sean, don't you like the socks on Bo? That's a good throwback player right there. You can see the stockings. You don't see that very often.
No.
Pants all the way down into the shoes almost. You know, and I think there's an advantage, believe it or not, in the strike zone when your pants are up that high and there's a kind of a dark line. He's hit that one well.
Down the right field line, just foul. So another close play along the line that doesn't work out for LSU.
Testing those line umpires. That's always a tough call when that ball is curving. Let's take a look at it here. You can usually see the ball go in front of the pole. It was obvious to the umpire it did. Hook foul.
No argument. Bob Jones had another close call. Now the 1-2 to Bowles. That goes the other way, and playing close to the line was DeSalle. He won't be able to get it in the gap. Bowles on his way to second with a 2-out double. His first hit today. He's been all over the bases in this College World Series. He's reached base 9 times in 16 plate appearances in the 4 games for LSU here.
Bowles hooking one foul for almost a home run. Now does a good job of taking an outside pitch and hitting it to left center for a double. DeSalle catches up with him, keeps him at second.
Bowles at second with 2 outs. 7-3 Miami in the 6th. Here's Tim Lanier, who walked and scored in the 3rd. Singled to left and stole second. Was stranded in the 4th.
LSU needs a run here, and they need to get back on the board.
Ball low.
Arteaga will get tougher and tougher as they get more and more anxious for runs. That's the way he works. The harder you want it, the slower he'll throw.
His last start was 6 days ago against Alabama. He got the win in that ball game as he went 7 innings. He's well rested. He's pitched into the 6th today. That's on the ground to second. And gobbled up by Gomez to end the inning. Heading to 7th. The national championship game in Omaha. The Hurricanes lead by 4.
Feels like a penthouse now compared to the, well, I won't say it.
T.R. Marcinzik, the leadoff batter for Miami in the 7th against the reliever Patrick Coogan, who came on last inning and threw 1 pitch to get a ground out that ended the inning. Marcinzik turned a bunt and took a ball inside. He's 1 for 3, all of his at bats against the starter Ship. Ship went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 runs, 5 earned on 11 hits, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. A bunt, foul off third. 1-2. We remind you that the Buick Classic comes your way next from Rye, New York. 3rd round underway, and Ernie Els has seen his lead shrink to 3 strokes now over Steve Elkington, Tim Herron, and Kevin Sutherland. 4 shots back. The Buick Classic next here on CBS. 1-2, fouled out of play to the right. The attendance here this afternoon, 23,905. That is a single game College World Series attendance record. Record crowd of nearly 24,000 here. Capacity of this ballpark listed at just over 22,000. So Many of those folks Michelle showed you earlier in line outside the ballpark got in. Very high, not very deep in center. Mike Turner, one out. Marcinzik now 1 for 4.
And up until last inning, when LSU made a couple of errors, it's been a well-played game and an exciting game, back and forth.
Coogan, the relief pitcher, one of 6 players in the baseball program at LSU, came out of Catholic High School in Baton Rouge. Pitching now to Alex Cora. The ball low. They're in tight at the corners for Alex. Had another good day. A double to right field in the 4th, and that controversial 2-run triple Cooley couldn't squeeze on the diving catch in the 5th. That broke the 3-3 tie, made it 5-3, and Miami scored 2 unearned runs in the 6th.
And Coogan in the 90s now with that fastball. He can get up to 92, 93. Comes right over the top. Good live arm.
You could say Coogan is not bluffing.
That's right.
And there's 91 on the outside corner.
91 and painted the black that time. If he continues to do that, it'll be very tough for Miami to hit him hard. Torres hit the ball to all fields today.
And he bunts with 2 strikes. A pretty good bunt. Coogan got it there. Nice play. 2 down. Cora trying to bunt his way on with 2 strikes, and it was a decent bunt, but Coogan made a fine play.
Look at Coogan now. Keeps his curveball down, and Cora with 2 strikes does a good job of deadening the ball. Now if the ball could have been over another 2 or 3 feet towards the third baseline, he would have beaten it out. Barehanded, Coogan fires the first with that 90-mile-an-hour fastball and beats him by a step.
Rick Sagisi takes a ball inside. Sagisi 1 for 3. He singled back in the 2nd. You mentioned earlier he went to high school in Naples, Florida, and suffered that tremendous tragedy when his dad was killed after being hit in the head by a line drive pitching batting practice to his high school team. Rick actually grew up in Massachusetts, in Andover in suburban Boston, and his family moved south primarily so he could play more baseball. There's a base hit through the first baseman Furness down into the right field corner. Ball stumbled a bit in the corner but gets it back in. Sagisi is safe at 2nd. Will await the scoring. It has been scored a hit. Went right through Furness, a ball that could have been handled, but it was a smash, and Sagisi is 2 for 4.
Sagisi now with good back speed. Takes this changeup and smashes it to first base. Furness tries to olay it, and it just skips by him. Usually have just one stab at that.
After Sagisi's family moved from Boston when he was 15 years old down to Florida, they couldn't sell their home in Boston, so they were carrying 2 mortgages, trying to make ends meet in Naples, really just so that he could play more baseball. Looks that his father's death put baseball in its proper perspective. He said baseball is still very important to him, but life is much more important. Even though he grew up in Boston, he idolizes Don Mattingly. I haven't been able to figure that out. Likes the Red Sox, but idolizes Don Mattingly. A ball to Jim Gargiulo.
The dichotomy in baseball,
yes.
Isn't it? Boston and New York. But he's got a nice swing, left-handed like Mattingly. Did a good job of hitting that time.
Jim Morris says he has the best swing on the team.
Smooth swing.
7-3 Miami. They're looking to add to it with a runner in scoring position. Ball well blocked by Lanier. Skip Bertman told us yesterday he has so much faith in Lanier's ability to block balls in the dirt that even with runners at 3rd, he will call for a pitch in the dirt if the situation, the count on the hitter dictates that, because he knows Lanier will block the ball.
That's confident.
2-1 now. Those that weren't fortunate enough to get into the ballpark, enjoying the picnic area outside. This is a tremendous facility. In addition to the home of the College World Series, it's also the home of the Omaha Royals, the AAA team of the Kansas City Royals. They go on an extended road trip every year when the College World Series comes to town. The 2-1 fouled out of play to the right.
Sean, just a great partnership between the NCAA and Omaha. They've truly taken this event, made it their own, and that's where you hear the phrase, the road to Omaha.
Well, the people here want to keep it here. That's one of the reasons why they made that major improvement to the press box that Michelle spoke of a moment ago. They're determined to satisfy the NCAA in every way. The event here. Full count now on Gargiulo.
Gargiulo started everything off a couple of innings ago with a bunt on the first pitch.
Well, the last inning resulted in an error. First of the 3 misplays in a row. Only 2 of them scored errors against LSU. Three and 2 on Gargiulo, a 6th round draft pick earlier this week of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's a junior from North Lauderdale, Florida, Coconut Creek High School. Outstanding defensive catcher. As a matter of fact, Turtle Thomas, who coaches Miami catchers, says he has better throwing velocity at this point in his career than did Charles Johnson, who's gone on to win a Gold Glove in the National League for the Florida Marlins. Down to first. They execute that play cleanly. 3-1 Furnace to Coogan to end the inning. 7th-inning stretch for this record-setting crowd in Omaha. Still 7-3 Miami. That could change in a couple of innings. Burrell far and away the nation's leader in batting average, threatening 500, and his team has a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 7th of the national title game. Arteaga still on the mound. JD's first pitch, a strike to Warren Morris. Morris, the number 9 hitter, then Williams and Kerner. Morris today has singled and scored. That was in the 3rd. He struck out swinging in the 4th. He's a junior from Alexandria, Louisiana, a 5th round pick of the Texas Rangers earlier this week. And Skip Bertman will take him and a couple other of his players along with him tomorrow to the U.S. Olympic trials in Millington, Tennessee. Skip told us yesterday Morris is likely to make the team as a second baseman.
And Morris, playing after a hamate surgery, finds a way to get it done, just like here.
Pulls that toward the gap in right center. Rivero cuts it off, but Morris has a double.
That's why this young man is an inspiration to this Tiger team. He's played through adversity. He plays with pain. He's got a nice trigger mechanism at the plate. He's a natural hitter. Now he hits this curveball right where it's pitched. He gets those hands in and gets the head of the bat on the ball and gets a rally going for the Tigers of LSU.
9 hits now for the Tigers. Action in the bullpen for Miami. Alan Westfall, a right-hander, is throwing. Jason Williams, the leadoff batter. He's grounded out, walked, and singled. 7-3 Miami. The Tigers have the lead man on in the 7th. Ball 1 low and inside. There's Westfall. Was the closer at the start of the year, has become the setup man and has prospered in that role. Robbie Morrison, a freshman, is the closer. Arteaga could be tiring. He's thrown 113 pitches.
Morris will not let Arteaga pitch to the tying run, that's for sure, especially with an excellent bullpen. LSU running out of time, only 9 outs left. Have to get some runs to get back in this game so that at least one swing can tie it or win it for them.
Off-speed pitch blocked by Gargiulo. 2 balls and no strikes. And the Tigers are coming around the big bats in their order. Williams, the leadoff hitter, at the plate. Kerner on deck. And the powerful bats of Dunn and Furnace. To second, right at Rudy Gomez. to Marcinzik for the out. Morris to third on the play. And here comes Mike Kerner. Been on base 3 times with 2 singles, and last time up he reached on a fielder's choice and stole second. He has 2 of the 9 LSU hits. He drove in a run with a single to right in the third.
Arteaga still pitching well enough within the strike zone. But you can see him tiring, Sean. It just the arm action's not the same. The elbow's dropping a little bit. A couple more pitches in the dirt.
There has not been a complete game in this College World Series, and Arteaga has not gone the distance this year. Kerner takes a strike. 1-1. Down to the Miami bullpen. Robbie Morrison, ordinarily the closer, has joined Westfall. In an everyday situation, this would be a little early for Morrison, but this is one game for the national championship. Morrison, we might see him earlier than usual this afternoon. 1-2 now on Kerner.
That Arteaga slider so tough on left-handers. You really have to keep your shoulder closed and think left center if you're a left-handed hitter so that you stay in on that pitch.
He struck him out. JD thought it was the third out of the inning as he went springing toward the dugout. It's the second out and his 6th strikeout of the afternoon.
We said how tough it is on lefties. Arteaga keeps that ball away, and he works on the frustration of Kerner again. You got to move up in the box to be able to hit a pitch like this. The Tigers haven't quite adjusted. Good location.
I think that's 7 strikeouts for Arteaga. Laser Collazo, the pitching coach, goes to the mound. With Miami leading 7-3 with 2 outs in the LSU 7th, and the Tigers have a man at third, and Nate Dunn coming to the plate. Arteaga told us yesterday that LSU was the best hitting team he's faced this year, and that's quite a statement. He mentioned Cal State Fullerton and Alabama as some of the other outstanding hitting teams. He thought this LSU team would present the biggest challenge that he had faced this year. He's faced a lot of challenges. He was on 2 state championship teams in high school at Westminster and Miami, and one of those teams was selected as the national champion. He's pitching in a College World Series for the 3rd straight year, and he's working now to Nathan Dunn, a junior from Pell City, Alabama. That's a ground ball down the third. Burl, a low throw. Marcinzik could come up with it. Morris scores. That's the first key mistake made by Miami. The Tigers have made several. Now the Hurricanes return a favor.
We talked about the pressure of this game. All you have to do is put it in play and then hope something happens. And I don't think Burl really caught this ball in the web. Caught it more in the palm of his glove and then tried to rush it. Goes into the dirt. Marcinzik cannot dig it out. Plenty of time. Got it back in the palm. Could not come up with it. The ball kicked up out of the dirt. Now the key to digging a ball out of the dirt is starting low and coming up high as a right-handed first baseman, Sean. What you want to do is you have to know the texture of the dirt. This dirt is hard, so it's going to kick up higher. A lot of infields, like you know, are pretty well dug up and it'll be soft. So he didn't anticipate that high kick on the throw.
Eddie Furness had a very bad-looking swing for strike 1. Now the tying runs in the on-deck circle for LSU. Furness 1 for 3 with an RBI single to center in the 3rd. This was not his best swing of the year.
Furness confused throughout most of today, guessing wrong against Arteaga.
In the dirt. Nice block by Gargiulo. The error was charged to Burl, his 21st of the year to lead the team, and his 3rd here at the College World Series. And it's the first error committed today by Miami.
LSU in scoring that run, they want to stay close enough for the big swing to let their power make the difference.
I would guess, Steve, that if Furness gets on, this would be the last batter for Arteaga. Cooley, a right-handed hitter on deck. He'd be the tying run at the plate, and you have two outstanding right-handers in the bullpen.
That's exactly what Jim Morris is thinking right now. This could be his last batter. But Furness so uncomfortable against Arteaga today. And you know, it's still amazing that that happens. A left-handed hitter so uncomfortable against a left-handed pitcher. You see that more often than a righty against a righty. I always say it's tougher to pick the ball up.
Ball 3 to Furness. In addition to being the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year this season, also an excellent student. 3.7 in pre-med. Member of the SEC Academic Honor Roll. His father is a doctor. Nacogdoches, Texas, a sophomore. He takes the 3-1 for strike 2. Now a full count with 2 outs, and Dunn will be running with the pitch.
Arteaga always comes in when he's behind in the count. That time a good slider to hit. Furness guessing wrong. He's got to be aggressive now.
Payoff with the runner goes. Hit down the right field line. Over to Plan Rivero. Dunn in the third, and he'll be had. He runs through the start sign, and he scores. Gargiulo left the plate and started up the third base line, not thinking there was going to be a play at the plate. He saw the stop sign apparently from the third base coach Bianco, which Dunn ran right through to score to make it 7-5.
Big mistake by the Hurricanes that time. A little bobble down the right field line, and then the inability to hit the cutoff man cleanly. I really think LSU stopped him and then sent him. Take a look at the runner. See, he's slowing down, and he makes his own decision. Never looks at the coach.
Ran right through the stop sign. You see that Gargiulo was not standing at the plate. He started running up the third baseline.
Mental mistakes will either win or lose this game.
New pitcher for Miami. Robbie Morrison on the mound with a tying run at the plate when we come back. It was scored a single for Furness and no RBI. An error charge to the right fielder Rivero on that throw in from the outfield. So 2 errors in the inning committed by Miami. And the first is the one that really hurt. They should have been out of the inning unscathed. Both runs in this inning unearned for LSU. Each team has made 2 errors. Chad Cooley, the tying run at the plate, facing the reliever, freshman Robbie Morrison. Cooley 0 for 3 today. Has flying to center and left and bounced to third. He's now 5 for 15 at the College World Series. That's a base hit. Gasol over toward the line to play it. Furness stops at second. Tying run at first. Now the go-ahead run will come to the plate for LSU.
We talked about Skip Bertman talking about he needed a breakout game. Well, we can sense it here. LSU finally breaking out of their slump by hitting line drives. Take a look at this pitch. No curveball hanging. Cooley lines it to left. Can't keep that ball up. He's lucky he kept it in the ballpark. I've always said it takes a while to get adjusted to a mound. That ball was definitely a hanger.
Morrison, one of the best closers in the country, facing Brad Wilson, who's 0 for 3 against the lefty Arteaga. Now facing the right-handed freshman Morrison. Ball 1 low and away.
I'm Brad Wilson. I'm saying to myself, boy, that left-hander was tough. I struck out twice, but now I got a right-hander. This is just what I want to break out now. He's got to come into me.
Morrison selected to all 3 All-America teams this year as a freshman. He's from Loxahatchee, Florida. Breaking ball, borderline strike, inside corner. Seventh inning, the key inning for Miami. If they're ahead after 7, they're 46-2 this year. When trailing, they're 1-10. Morrison and Westfall, the big reasons why they're so great at protecting those late inning leads. Skip Bertman said yesterday in watching tape of Miami, he was incredibly impressed by Morrison. Those were Skip's words.
Morrison with 14 saves this year. Very aggressive on the mound, just like a reliever should be. Good curveball, sinking fastball.
Misses low and away, 3-1. He's in danger of putting the go-ahead run on base, moving the tying run into scoring position. With Justin Bowles on deck.
You're a pitcher, you got to be careful that you don't overthrow in this situation. A lot of tension out there. LSU getting back into the game now. Morrison threw a hanging curveball to Cooley before. Now he's missed a couple of times. You can't choke the ball. He's got to stay loose.
3-1 pitch. Jim Morris said yesterday the breaking ball is Morrison's best pitch. And when you consider he has a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, that's a statement.
Wilson's got to be ready here, and he thinks it's low, and it looks like it could have been, but the umpire says strike two. Full count now with 2 out. The runners will be going.
Robbie Morrison to Brett Wilson. Tipped in on net for strike 3. So the Tigers get 2 unearned runs, but they leave 2 men on base as Wilson strikes out. Still Miami by 2 as we head to the 8th. Top of the order for the Canes. Ryan Primmett takes strike 1 from Patrick Coogan, who's pitched an inning and a third of scoreless relief. Primmett, the leadoff hitter, been on base twice. Morris says he's a key for us as he sets the table, gets on base, runs and scores, and that's what he's done today. He's been on base twice and has scored twice, despite the fact that he does not have a hit. Rudy Gomez, Pat Burrell to follow. Wow, where did that pitch miss? 1-2. Here's Michelle.
All right, well, Miami second baseman Alex Cora just rallied the Hurricane troops after their rough 7th inning. He shouted at them, hey, we've got 2 innings left. We've got our best pitcher on the mound. Let's play our best defense, and let's win this thing. Alex Cora continues to be so emotional throughout this game, Sean.
We saw his brother Joey very emotional after the Mariners were eliminated from the American League playoffs last year. Strike 3. Coogan didn't get the call on the previous pitch. No doubt about that one. Blazing fastball. And Coogan has his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Let's take a look at this pitch now. Good curveball over the top. Good location. Batter covers the plate. Looks a little bit outside from here.
Miami leads by 2 in the 8th inning. 1 out of the base is empty. Rudy Gomez lifts the first pitch to right. And Justin Bowles is there. Gomez now 3 for 5 with 3 singles.
Sean, got a nice fax from Rod Dato, of course, the all-time championship coach at USC. We had talked earlier about scholarships, and I made the remark that USC one time had unlimited, which I probably said it wrong. They did have 13 at one time. They probably gave a few more full scholarships in. And Rod was kind enough to let us know that never had they had unlimited, and it just seemed that way because they had so many great players.
Well, he wishes he had you at the banquet last week. He mentioned one of the regrets of his coaching career is that Steve Garvey didn't go to USC. He managed to win 10 titles without you.
Somehow, some way. I said, you just would have asked me. It would have come from that humidity of Tampa to that nice dryness of LA.
It's usually part of the process. Usually the coach has to ask before you come. 0-1 is high. 1-1 now on Burrell. Rod Dato knows a lot about winning the championship. USC is 1-11. Dato won 10. He was named the outstanding coach on the 50th anniversary all-time team. Coogan is throwing hard. That was a blistering fastball he just threw past Burrell. Now the 1-2. Breaking ball hammered high in the air, but foul and left. Well foul, well back into the crowd, nearly 24,000.
Burrow really lifts his front leg, separates the bat, and really gets under the ball. He hits some of the highest balls I've seen here at the College World Series. J.D. Drew, another one. Brad Wilkerson from Florida, big, strong young men who really separate and lift that ball. Great power.
LSU fans really letting the home plate umpire Scott Graham hear it.
See what this pitch is. It's over the plate. He probably called it high, but this is all over the plate and a good curveball.
Wow. And that pitch is right there. And I think what might have thrown Graham off was the fact that it missed the target actually by quite a margin. The catcher, Lanier, had to move to glove it, but that was right over the heart of the plate.
You know, sometimes a pitch can actually fool everybody, and I think that's what happened.
You don't like to give Burrell a second chance if you're Coogan. That fastball's high. Full count with 2 outs and the bases empty in the 8th. 7-5 Miami.
An umpire doesn't like to see a pitcher start to run off the field. Not that he'll hold it against him, but they like him to stay on the mound while they call it.
Yeah, that's a line foul. Look out. The ground crew lounging down there. And they had their siesta interrupted.
I like this confrontation between Coogan and Burrell. One's going to throw it hard, the other's going to swing hard.
And it's a fly ball to right. Justin ball with the catch. Coogan's been actually two to third, scoreless innings. Still Miami 7 and LSU 5. Tim Lanier on deck, then Warren Morris. Morrison's first pitch, a ball outside.
You can see the velocity from Morrison from behind the plate. A little movement on the ball.
He gets it up in the low 90s. Usually that's line in the left center, a base hit. Bowles has 2 hits today, and Lanier comes to the plate representing the tying run for LSU.
Take a look now, Morrison. Good live fastball inside. Bowles just fights it off with that aluminum bat. Just slices it to left center and starts a rally for the Tigers of LSU. We talked about LSU wanting to get back in a situation where one swing will break the game open for them.
One swing to tie now as Lanier stands in. The captain has walked, singled, and bounced out. He scored after walking to open the 3rd. He stole a base after singling to left in the 4th.
A couple of big home runs in the opening game for Lanier.
All the dirt. 2-0.
You and I have both seen it sometimes in a classic series like this where somebody you don't really expect to be the key hitter turns out to be somebody like Lanier.
And Skip Bertman talked about that yesterday. He said this atmosphere here with the enormous crowds and national TV is so different from what these players are used to all season long. Some players thrive under it, excel under it. Others have a problem with it. Lanier is one of those who has raised his game under the spotlight of the College World Series. And he's ahead of the count here, 3-0.
What happens when you're a leader? You want to be in key situations. You want to make the difference. You want to lead your team. And that's Lanier's personality and philosophy.
They appear to be taking all the way. Lanier, another of the outstanding students on the LSU team, 3.6 GPA in kinesiology. He's been on the SEC academic honor roll 3 straight years. Bertman calls him the best defensive catcher I've ever coached. And he takes strike 2. Full count now. Action again in the Miami pen. The right-hander is Alan Westfall. The lefty, Lázaro Gutierrez, who usually comes in to get 1 or 2 left-handed hitters out. Situational left-hander. Payoff pitch with the runner going. It's ball 4. And now the tying run is at first with nobody out. Skip Bertman has the go-ahead run coming to the plate in Warren Morris.
LSU being aggressive on the base pass. They are the home team, even if they are down by 2 runs. Now the go-ahead run is at the plate.
As we mentioned at the top of the telecast, Morris really the key man for LSU. Their record unblemished 21-0 this year when he is in the starting lineup. He's only the number 9 hitter because of the hand injury. Likely to be on the U.S. Olympic team in Atlanta this summer, which will be coached by his coach at LSU, Skip Bertman. And the Canes are expecting him to bunt, try to get that tying run into scoring position. They're tight at the corners. Jason Williams is on deck. 7-5 Miami with nobody out and 2 men on in the LSU 8th.
Lots of pressure on the Miami defense now. It's going to be an interesting decision by Skip Bertman. Here's one of your best hitters, even though he might not have the power. I probably would let him swing away, but let's see what he does.
They play for the big inning, don't bunt very often. But they turn to bunt here, and it's a ball up and away. Throw to second. And Porter fielded it. Collided with the second base umpire Tom McKinney. No harm done.
Bertman's working on the percentages now, and I think simply because Morris doesn't have the strength in the hand. If he had more pop, I think you'd let him swing away. Simply because there's a bigger hole on the right side. The wind blows out to right field.
Morris is 2 for 3 today. Turns the bunt again. Bunts it rather sharply back toward the mound. Throw it back.
Miami sees it falling apart even on this bunt that's hit relatively hard. Back to Morrison. To Hopper. He's got 3 others. He's got to pivot around and just throw. And the key is a great jump to third base. Watch this. 1-2 there. Nice and easy. Should throw him out. But Bowles got a great jump on that play. Give LSU credit.
Laser Collazo, the pitching coach, back at the mound. And the entire infield gathered around Collazo. Bases loaded now and nobody out. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. Miami leads 7-5. Robbie Morrison, brilliant throughout this season. Coming into this appearance, an ERA of 1.11 over 57 innings. Opponents batting just 151 against him. Here at the College World Series, he's pitched 4 in the 3rd innings without being scored upon. First team All-American closer, but in trouble now.
Miami needed to regroup there. They talked about 2 things they have to do. Number 1, Morrison has to keep the ball down. And they have to say to themselves, what do I do if the ball is hit to me at the corners? I think about going all. They're backing up now.
And here's Jason Williams. 1 for 3, a single and a walk. He has just 2 hits in this College World Series. Bertman said he's still admitted he'd like that right there in the key situation. And here he is.
Good RBI man for the Tigers of LSU.
The school's all-time leader in hits and in runs scored and in at-bats, with the biggest at-bat of his career. Strike on the corner.
Big curveball by Morrison that time. We've talked about LSU having a tradition of winning. This is what they do. They stay close and find a way to beat you. Let's look at this curveball. Umpire says it caught the corner barely.
The 0-2. Hesitates, comes to the plate, and no throw to first. Now Julo wise to hang on to it. So the Canes get what they were looking for. They cut down the runner at the plate. First out of the inning. Might have had a chance to get 2 had Burrell not double pumped.
Here's that ball down that Morrison needed. Burrell, nice, smooth catch. Takes his time, gets one at home. It's the very least they wanted.
Now Mike Kerner. The tying run still at second. Go ahead, run at first. Bases loaded and 1 out. Kerner 2 for 3, 2 for 4. 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. He's stolen a base today. He looked at ball 1. Foul ball, 1-1. Rally caps in evidence on some in the LSU dugout. They trail 7-5 in the 8th. Hits even at 12 apiece. Each team has made 2 errors. Early on it was LSU making the key mistake, but in the last couple of innings Miami has been error prone. The 1-1 pitch. Hit in the air to left. Runners are tagging. Here comes Lanier to the plate. DeSal's throw is up the first baseline. It's a 1-run game, 7-6.
LSU now back to within 1 run. Good job of hitting that time. He had to get the ball in the air to get that run in. Good job by Kerner. Got to make sure the ball touches the glove. Need almost perfect timing, and he does. Gets a good jump. The throw is high and not on line, and he scores easily.
Miami would be very happy to get out of this inning, allowing just the 1 run, as they had the bases loaded and nobody out to the Tigers. Now they have first and second with 2 outs and 1 run in. Nathan Dunn, the batter. Base hit left field. Morris will be sent around to the plate, and he will score.
We talked about LSU's great tradition in the clutch. They've stayed close. And now Dunn took this curveball and hit a line shot to left field. Watch him stay on it, keep his head on it. With a good jump from the runner at second base. It's not clearly caught in left field. And here comes the tying run. Scores easily.
7-7 the score. Tigers bidding to take the lead. First and second and 2 outs. Dunn, one of those big hitters in the lineup who really struggled coming into this game, was 3 for 14, but he's had 2 big hits today. He's driven in 3 runs. Furness has also broken out with 2 hits today and 1 RBI.
Talked about one swing making a difference, and now another bad pitch.
And the runners move up. Now the go-ahead run is at third. And another runner at second in a 7-7 game in the 8th inning. Gargiulo blocked it, but it squirted past him toward the first base dugout. And Morrison is having a tough time of it for one of the very few times this season.
Watch the pitch now as it gets down in the dirt. Gargiulo goes over, gets in front of it, but it kicks off him and allows the runners to go to second and third.
Wild pitch. Charge to Morrison.
The reason that happens is with a curveball, there's much more spin on the ball and has a tendency to kick instead of a fastball just hitting and skipping straight in.
Now the key confrontation between the SEC Player of the Year, Furness, and the All-American first-teamer Morrison. And Miami elects to bypass that confrontation. They'll load the bases and get to the right-handed hitting Chad Cooley on deck. An intentional walk. That's ball 4. 2 walks in the inning thrown by Morrison. Those are the first runs he has allowed in this College World Series. Runner at second base is done, and Mike Bianco, the third base coach, wants to make sure there aren't any more problems on the base paths today for the LSU Tigers. 7-7 the score. The hits 13-12 in favor of LSU. Each team with 2 errors. Now Chad Cooley with a chance to put the Tigers on top. He's 1 for 4, singled as the first man to face Morrison when Robbie entered the game last inning. Breaking ball for a strike. It was Cooley who couldn't quite make the catch in left field. Back in the 5th inning on the ball hit by Cora. The play that broke the 3-3 tie gave Miami the 5-3 lead. They've held the lead since then until this inning. Fastball outside, 1-1.
Julo trying to frame that pitch. Morrison will try to pitch Cooley away. With an open stance, he's trying to hit the outside half of that plate.
Cooley, a senior, playing in his last game for LSU, pops it up in shallow center. Makes the catch, and that ends the inning. 2 runs for LSU in the 8th, and we go to the 9th. The Hurricanes and Tigers tied at 7. But there's been excitement throughout. They're tied at 7 in the 9th. Patrick Coogan has been terrific in relief. His first pitch of the 9th, foul tipped by Eddie Rivero into the middle of the catcher Lanier. Rivero has driven in a run today and has scored a run. He has a hit. He's 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. Middle third of the order coming up for Miami. Rivero, DeSalle, and Marcinzik. 2 balls and a strike on Rivero, the senior right fielder.
With LSU's rally and now tying the score, they put the pressure on Miami because LSU is the home team.
In the air in center field, still retreating Kerner. We've seen outfielders take strange paths to fly balls today because the wind is really boxing the ball around. Coogan's been terrific in relief. 2 2/3 innings. We've only allowed 1 base runner on 1 hit. A double by Sagisi in the 7th. Since then, he's retired 5 in a row. He'll work next to Michael DeSalle, who's 2 for 3. He's driven in 3 of the 7 runs today for Miami with a 2-run single in the 1st and a sacrifice fly in the 5th. Strike on DeSalle, and now a ball. Michael drafted earlier this week by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, one of the first draft choices in the history of that organization. Michael was taken in the 17th round by Tampa Bay.
Coogan's got to be careful. DeSalle's hit the ball well today and hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Kevin Shipp, who was the starter today for LSU, went 5 2/3 innings. Left with his team trailing 7-3. The Tigers have bounced back with 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th to tie it at 7. We're in the 9th. Out of play to the left. The foul ball from DeSalle. And J.D. Arteaga, the Miami starter, still in the dugout directly behind DeSalle and pacing. He is no longer in the game. 1-2 pitch. Chop to Morris at second. 2 down. No action in the bullpen for Miami, so in all likelihood it'll be Morrison to come back out for the 9th. There'll be tremendous pressure no matter what happens on Morrison when he takes the mound for the bottom of the 9th, but even more if his teammates don't score here. He'll have to hold the Tigers at bay in the 9th. And Wilson, Bowles, and Lanier are due up for LSU. Batters 6, 7, and 8. Base hit down the left field line for Marcinzik. That should go for extra bases. Marcinzik into second with a double. He's 2 for 5 today.
Marcinzik, who started slow today, has really started to swing the bat well, and now he takes this curveball, a low curveball, and hooks it just inside the bag for a double. Really turned on that ball, got the head of the bat on it. It's an outfielder. You got to make sure this ball doesn't get by you. That's why he plays it in front of him. Cooley.
Alex Cora, left-handed hitter, due up. And Skip Bertman is on his way to the mound. He does have Eddie Yarnell, the left-hander, warming up in the bullpen. Yarnell is a first-team All-American this year. We saw earlier when we showed you the graphic of the Baseball America first-team All-America squad. 7-7 the score, and the line scores are identical. That seems fitting, given how closely contested this game has been. 7 runs, 13 hits, and 2 errors for each team. Bertman's going to stick with Coogan, who's been effective. He'll stick with the right-hander to pitch to the left-handed hitting Cora.
Cora, who's hit the least of this Miami team, 297 going into the game, to me is very dangerous because he swung the bat very smoothly today. Really taking the ball where it's pitched. Hit to all fields.
And he's been one of their best hitters lately. Over the last 8 games, with his 2 for 4 today, Cora is now 14 for his last 33. Batting average of over 400. Takes a fastball for a strike. Cora today has doubled and tripled. He was credited with the triple on the ball Cooley couldn't catch. Ball that was caught but then came out when Cooley hit the ground. 2 runs scored. At the time, it broke a 3-3 tie, gave Miami a 5-3 lead. Cora trying to give him the lead again. Slams a left base hit. Cooley up with the ball again. Marcinzik to the plate. The throw is on line, and Miami has the lead. 8-7 Miami on Cora's 3rd hit of the ball game.
We say Cora had hit the ball where it was pitched all day long, and he does it again. A fastball away. And this throw would have had a chance if it was on line, but it's wide. Miami goes ahead. Watch, he hits the corner of the bag. Marcinzik, which gives him a better direction towards home. And he scores.
And Alex Cora has a single now to go with his double and triple today. He's driven in 3 runs. He's put them ahead once again. Coogan still the pitcher to face Gargiulo, or rather Sagisi, the DH. Another left-handed hitter who is 2 for 4 today, a single and a double. Gargiulo's on deck. To center field. Kerner, but Miami gets a run on 2 hits after the first 2 men of the inning had been retired. Bottom of the 9th upcoming. Does LSU have one more comeback left? We'll find out after this. And Skip Bertman needs one more big inning out of his team. Cain's ready to celebrate, but also they understand what a tenuous lead this is against a team like the Tigers, who have scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings. Brad Wilson, 0 for 4, has struck out 3 times today. He's 1 for 16 in the College World Series, but that will make up for all of those periods of failure. Down the line, and he's going to try for 2. Rivero's throw, not in time, and he did not leave the bag. It's a double.
Brad Wilson has been struggling, now steps up and hits this ball just inside the line. Let's watch him. He's going to inside out it. And he's going to be taken off. He says, I'm going for 2. He's pumping hard. Let's take a look at the tag. Let's see what happens. Does he come off the bag? Umpire says no.
Very well umpired game. Tom McKinney in perfect position. Now Justin Bowles, the senior from Lake Jackson, Texas. Chance to win the College World Series with one swing. Bowles today 2 for 4. Hits in each of his last 2 at-bats. A double to left center in the 6th. A single to left center in the 8th. Even with the 2 hits to left center, they play him around to the right side of the diamond. They play him to pull. He turned to bunt and pushed it foul. Bowles, the number 7 hitter. Tim Lanier is on deck.
Sean, I don't think any of us thought that LSU would go down quietly. This is a great tradition. They never give up. Their winners haven't played that well throughout the College World Series and still won 3 games.
Steve, you surprised by the bunt? And this is a big ball team. Obviously, you have to stay alive in the national championship game, and you absolutely need to get this run in. But you have a left-handed pull hitter ordinarily up there in Bowles. You already have the run in scoring position.
Well, I think this is the way Skip Bertman plays the game. He wants to get the runner over, then you load up the bases, and a lot of things can happen then.
See if he stays with the bunt. He does not. The ball low. I mentioned earlier they'd only sacrificed 19 times the whole year coming into this ball game.
What Skip does is he'll let him take 1 shot at it, and if they don't execute, then he'll say to himself, okay, I've got the infield in, there's a big hole on the right side. Give a shot at that.
Bowles is a home run threat, has 22. Second in the SEC this year. That's a ball down to first. Great stop by Marcinzik. But it gets the runner to third. The ground ball to first. Tying run at third with 1 out. And an outstanding play by Marcinzik to keep the winning run off base for LSU.
Now this is a ball that's down. Bowles, who has good bat control, hits it hard, and TR makes a great stop. Look at that stop by that first baseman. Let's take a look at this angle. Here we go. Hits a 1-hop shot. He stabs it, checks the runner, and gets the out.
Joey Cora, rather Alex Cora, going through the signs for the defense. They're going to bring the infield in. They're playing to win the championship right here. This is risky. They increase Lanier's percentage of getting a hit, allowing the winning run to reach base. All that runner at third can do is tie it. It's a pitch that gets by Lanier and by the catcher Gargiulo, but not far enough for the runner to come in from third, and it has been deemed a strike.
Take a look at this pitch being down now. Bob, it's another curveball that ricochets off him. The runner Wilson obviously was blocked out, didn't want to take a chance. I think that's a smart play.
How about the infield in? You surprised?
No, I think Miami, being the visiting team, has to cut off this run. LSU has been coming back and back and back.
In the dirt. Blocked by Gargiulo. A ball and a strike. Lanier, the team captain, up in another key spot with the tying run at third and 1 out in the 9th inning. Lanier today has walked twice and singled, 1 for 2. He has scored twice, including last inning. Time call. Morrison has pitched 2 2/3 innings of relief now.
We talked about Lanier and how he's come through throughout this whole College World Series. About how much of a leader is, how he wants to be up in crucial situations.
Outside and low, 2 balls and a strike. And Warren Morris is on deck. Corner, but it's a strike to even the count at 2-2 with 1 out, a runner at third. 8-7 Miami in the bottom of the 9th. Robbie Morrison, the freshman. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball just outside, and Morrison barked in the direction of home plate as that call didn't go his way.
Tough pitch to take by Lanier. That ball seems to be on the outside corner. He tries to frame it back. Tough pitch to take.
Morrison got the close call on the previous pitch. Didn't get it on the 2-2. Now a full count. The payoff to Lanier. He struck him out.
This is going to be a great curveball in a crucial situation. Morrison comes back with the best curve of the day and fans Lanier. Watch Lanier track it. He just can't go down and get it. Here it is again. What a great curveball.
Now Warren Morris hits a deep drive.